Hi there, and welcome to the Mirror Talk podcast with Katrina Renee. This show was created to offer listeners down-to-earth and genuine life conversations with positive vibes. The purpose of the Mirror Talk podcast is to inspire, motivate, and educate listeners on how to work towards their best self. The Mirror Talk podcast is filled with Katrina's humor, love, and authenticity. In each episode, Katrina will reflect on a variety of different topics, from religion and spirituality to love and relationships. If you're looking for a safe space to heal and be empowered, this is the show for you. Now, you'll be joined by your host, Katrina Renee. Enjoy the show.
So what's the word today?
Hello, and welcome to the Mirror Talk podcast show. I am your host, Katrina Renee, and today my Mirror Talk is going to be about my book that I wrote some years ago called He's Incapable of Loving Me. I wrote this book because it was in my heart to truly help the next woman that may get involved with a narcissist. Now, let me just give you a little background. I was at a point in my life where I was so tired of being alone. I was so tired of not dating. So I decided, well, let me do something different, because in order to get something greater, sometimes you just have to do something different. So I thought, well, I've never tried online dating, so let me try online dating. So I went on an online dating website and I met some awesome people up there, right? Who looked like they had it all together. Conversation was great on some of those. Some of the profiles were talking about how they desired for romantic walks and in the beach. You know, they were actually looking for commitment. Right. So I ran across this particular guy who seemed to carry everything that I thought was what I needed at the time and what I wanted. So what I would like to do is basically give a shout out to the women. Now, in this book, I'll probably skip through some chapters, but I just want to start the dialogue about a narcissist. You know, and this lady told me one time before, she said, you know, I am so sick and tired of hearing people just call men narcissists. And I'm thinking to myself, it's because you've never dealt with a narcissist. So that's probably why you're saying that. But a narcissist basically is also known as a narcissistic personality disorder. It's a disorder with a long-term pattern of abnormal behavior characterized by exaggerated feelings of self-importance and an excessive need for admiration and a lack of empathy. Okay, so narcissistic abuse was originally defined as emotional abuse. And this is in Wikipedia as well. Okay. Now, let me just fill you in on the things that narcissists do. Okay. They do emotional blackmail. Okay. This includes anger. They warn you. They try to intimidate you. And it is a form of manipulation that provokes doubt within yourself. So then you feel obligated for them. You fear the fear for them. And sometimes you carry the guilt. So you have the fear, the obligation, and the guilt. And that is actually an acronym for FOG. Dealing with a narcissist always have you in mental fog, always confused, not wondering if you're doing something right. All the blame is always shift on you. Then it makes you feel obligated, because keep in mind, they are playing off of your emotional feelings that you may have. Now, also gaslighting. Gaslighting is intentionally making you distrust your perceptions of reality or believe that you're mentally incompetent. A lot of times they would make you feel as if like you know something is not right and you see it with your eyes of something that they do. And they would come back and say, well, that's not the way it is. And they'll give you a whole new different creation of a story that will have you looking like, wow, this guy just put together a lie that it sounds real good. And you actually want to give them the benefit of the doubt. And anybody that has ever dealt with a narcissist knows that they are some very good liars. So another thing too that they are good with is character assassination, slandering, spreading malicious gossip and lies about you to other people. The idea is they want other people to look down at you and make you think that you're the bad person and to make them think that you're the bad person. So if they can win that, then it makes them feel extremely good. And to me, that is sickening, because what man in their right mind or what woman in their right mind want to paint this picture about someone that they say they love, someone that they say that they want to spend the rest of their life with? These are things that narcissistic people do. And it is so abusive to someone who's healthy in their emotions and who's healthy with themselves. It is so abusive when you're dealing with someone who's constantly gaslighting you, someone who's constantly making you think that things aren't the way and you know that they are. And someone then, after they do something to you, they tell you, but you know, you made me do it that way, or you shouldn't have made me do it that way. You know, I love you. Did you just hear what I just said? Those were statements that was made in the narcissistic relationship, even that I was in. So even listening to this podcast right now, I just want to let you all know that if you have dated someone that was a narcissist, you may run across some triggers through this conversation. So I just want to encourage you and remind you to just breathe through them. And also to let you know that it is a journey of healing that must take place when you have dealt with someone who was abusive, emotionally, physically. When you have dealt with that, it takes time to heal. So I just want to commend you that if you are listening to this podcast, that don't rush your healing. Take every day one step at a time and begin to get those negative thoughts out of your mind in reference to the narcissistic person that may have spoke certain word curses to you that has damaged you and made you feel like you were the problem. Well, I just want to let you know that you're not the problem, and that the problem was simply the person that you were dating. So I just want to also just encourage you to know that you made a good decision of walking away, to know that everything is going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Understand that you are going to be okay. And right now, I want you to say, I am going to be okay. So I had this poem that I wrote in the book, He's Incapable of Loving Me. And this is dedicated to every woman that my narcissist was dealing with, and to every woman that your narcissist was cheating with and dealing with. I dedicate this poem to the other one. And this poem goes a little something like this. And it's called, I Just Have One Question for You. He's great, isn't he? Sweet, charming, handsome, funny, and so into you. Treats you like you're the only one. Takes you out, calls you his lady, tell you that he chose you. Never thought I'd one day call myself a survivor because of him. You think you're different, right? At least that's what you say. Wait until you see behind the mask. Oh, honey, just give it a second. When he can't use you for money, sex, communication, or status quo to show you off like a trophy for his ego. But of course, I'm just saying all this because I'm jealous, angry, controlling, vindictive, crazy, and angry, right? That's what he tells you. And he also tells you that I'm a stalker who won't let go. Isn't that what he told you? Did you ever stop to think that maybe, just maybe, I'm none of those things? I'm honest, I'm kind, I'm loving, and I'm respectful. And honey, I'm innocent. I wanted to believe that this was just a nightmare, but this story goes on and on and on and on. But you will understand soon that the gift of the man you think you have is really just a bad package full of merry-go-rounds, broken promises, and a evil vex. Because, honey, you're about to find out that you're next. And I dedicate that poem to all the women who my narcissist was dealing with and who your narcissist was dealing with. So I dedicate that. And that poem is actually written in the book, He's Incapable of Loving Me. And that poem, when I wrote that poem with just having so much attitude, right? I had attitude, and it came off of me in such a way where it was actually giving me healing, because I was talking to the other woman like I was talking to the other woman, if you understand what I'm saying. So the conversations that I didn't have with the actual woman, I was actually having it in my time of writing for my healing, because I always tell people that writing for me is healing for me. I wrote my way out of that situation. I wrote my way out of the hurt and the pain that I went through. And I came up with this book that can help a lot of women and men get free. So there is also a quote in the book that I also put in here too. And it says, when your relationship with the narcissist finally comes to an end, don't get caught up thinking that the narcissist might improve and the next person is going to get a better version of them. They are who they are. There is no better version. Isn't it interesting how narcissists paint this picture like they are just so this awesome guy or awesome girl, and then the mask comes off? But then we, as the persons that were the victims of this narcissist, we tend to stay around because we really want to believe that they're going to change. And we give them so many opportunities to get it right. Now, I know you're listening and you're saying, yeah, because I've given this person so many opportunities to get this right, and this individual chose not to get it right. But look at all those many times that you gave someone grace to continue to keep hurting you. They just kept this cycle going, and you were they would tell you, baby, I'm sorry. And the next minute they'll go do something they shouldn't do or say something they shouldn't say to hurt you, to cause you to lose your self-worth and make you figure out, wait a minute, I used to be so sure about myself. Now I'm not sure about myself. See, that is like the fog that I was talking about that narcissists give people. It causes them to make them feel as if they don't know who they are. It causes them to make them feel as if like, and when I say them, I'm talking about you. It makes you feel as if like you don't know your purpose, you don't know your worth. And it's because you're allowing someone who is considered to be an emotional vampire drain you of every emotional capacity that you have. And they just keep biting you and feeding off of you and biting and feeding off of you. And you keep going back and letting them do the same thing over and over again until you get tired, my love. You get tired and you say, no, enough is enough. And that comes a time in our life when we get that way, where we get tired of dealing with the foolishness. So I'm going to go right in and just jump to chapter 1. And chapter 1 is called Straight Talk. You don't need to jump into another relationship right after you get out of your relationship with your narcissist. It's not healthy to subject another person to your wounds in order to fill that void you have. Learn to love yourself before you can love someone else. After these types of breakups, you go through a period of feeling devalued and questioning your worth. The emotional and physical drain that you suffered from the relationship has taken a toll on your confidence. Now, I just said that, right? It takes a toll on you because this is someone who's draining you constantly of your emotions. You build yourself up, you're having a great day, and then they call you and say something stupid. Literally. And I know you're laughing when I say that, but yes, they say something stupid. Something so stupid as if like the remote control wasn't on the table when they left. But you left this morning and you haven't been home all day. So now you're calling me when you get off and tell me about a remote control that wasn't at the same place where you saw. Come on. These are the types of conversations that you would have in your household with people who have these types of narcissistic tendencies. Okay. They would talk to you they would take a hour of a conversation, right? And turn it into something for 2 hours. Or better yet, they'll take something that could be said in 5 minutes and they turn it into an assault conversation for a whole hour about something so stupid. And if you're going through that, let me tell you, you can pull through this. You will get through this. You have to start redirecting your thoughts and your heart and knowing and believing in yourself. You got to know there's certain things that I'm just not willing to put on my table anymore. There are certain things that I'm not willing to tolerate anymore in dealing with relationships. And as you continue to go through these things with these type of individuals, you start developing in your heart a hate. It is a hate. And that is not good to be in a healthy place because it has driven some people to commit murder. It has driven some people to do things that were not right. So I just want to encourage you that if you are going through this type of abuse, I want you to reach out to some domestic violence centers, reach out to someone for accountability and support so that they can help you walk through this, because this type of relationship is so abusive to your health. Okay, so I'm going to keep reading. You want acceptance and validation. Don't try to search for someone to find that void. It's time to search your heart, to evaluate you within. It's dangerous in this stage to start dating right away. You will mirror the same spirit that broke up with you or caused you to leave the relationship. Take the time to bring self-awareness. Give yourself time to heal and be released from your past. Don't swing from one man to another, one woman to another. You haven't given yourself time to heal. It's important to embrace the feelings now so you can conquer your brokenness. Holding on to the past while trying to go into a new relationship, it isn't healthy. And if you're swinging to another relationship, to another, while still holding on to the last relationship because you're not healed, you are operating in the animal nature of an orangutan. Now, let's just understand the mentality of the orangutan. The orangutan goes to another branch while still holding on to the old branch to get to and from. I like using this metaphor because it's so graphic. And that's how you're swinging in the spirit with the person that you just left. And you're picking up somebody else, but you're still going back because you got to move from side. Sometimes you just got to be still and get well and get healed. Sometimes you got to say, no, I don't need to jumped right out there and date because where you're hurting, you may end up hurting a really good person that truly want to love you. But in order to love someone else, you have to learn how to love you first. Okay? You have to learn how to love you first. It's not healthy to not cleanse yourself from the past before you move on to the present. Take the time to recover, restore, and rededicate your life to loving you more than anything else. You must rid yourself from the old energy, the old past that is lurking around you, that is keeping you depressed or feeling insignificant. Don't entertain that at all. Go out with family, with your girlfriends. Seek your truth about yourself and where you are in your life. And also take the time to enjoy you. You're going to get through this breakup process. Just take it breath by breath, day by day. And there is a section in the book where I call it your transition to power session. Your power session is what you are decreeing and declaring for yourself. So one of the exercises that I would do that helped me is I would find a mirror and I would stand in front of that mirror and I would declare to the atmosphere, my current situation. And this is what I would say. I'm beautiful and I will find the right partner and the right partner will find me. This too shall pass. I love me and I will give love with such propensity. I accept my choices and decisions to renew and restore my self-worth, self-esteem, and self-confidence every day. I am healed from all emotional hurts, physical violence, and malicious threats or thoughts that were made against me. I am an overcomer and a survivor. I am blessed, loved, and celebrated. I accept me and I love me. I accept me and I love me. And that was so important when dating someone who try to rob you of your identity and try to rob you of your confidence and the love that you have. Because a lot of times the victim is the one that has so much love, that has so much hope. And narcissistic people are the ones that drain that out of the victim, right? And I still feel uncomfortable saying victim. Can I say victor? I like victor. Victor is better because you have overcome the worst and greater is ahead for you. So I just want to say, be encouraged. Know that you can fall in love with a narcissist. You don't know right off the bat they are until you start watching certain tendencies or certain things that they do. And we'll talk about that another time. But I just wanted to share some type of encouragement with you. The next episode, I think I'm going to go through this book. I'm going to do a series on this book right here because I think it is so needed to make sure that I am encouraging you all, if you are dealing in a domestic violence situation or any type of violent situation in your life, I come today to tell you that you are better than that. I come today to tell you to seek out help. I come today to tell you that change and transformation is about to happen in your life and that you have took the initial step to even listen to this podcast all the way through to let you know that it's time for a change. And the narcissist that you think that you're so in love with is not in love with you because guess what? He's incapable of loving you. He's incapable of loving me. So thank you so much for listening to the Mirror Talk podcast show. You can order this book off of Amazon.com or you can go to my website, which is IamKatrinaRenee.com, where you can purchase your book. your copy of He's Incapable of Loving Me. Thank you so much for listening again, and thank you all for your support. And if you have any questions that you want to address, make sure you email me. Go to my website, click on the link podcast, and just go ahead and submit your questions, submit your stories. I would love to share them also, because this is a community where we are healing together, transforming together, and becoming the best version of who God wants us to become. Thank you so much for listening, and see you on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Mirror Talk podcast with Katrina Renee. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to follow, like, share, and subscribe to my channel, or simply share the episode with a friend. To find out more about the show, or perhaps you have a question you would like to ask Katrina Renee, please go to IamKatrinaRenee.com and submit your question or story. You can catch future episodes on the YouTube channel, The Mirror Talk Podcast with Katrina Renee. Remember that to heal and move forward in life, it's essential to listen to life-changing and empowering conversations and to learn to love yourself. Now that you're part of the Mirror Talk podcast community, everyone can learn, grow, and get stronger together. See you on the next episode.